So take me away across the ocean, out in the horizon.
Hello from London, still.
So we're standing at one of the sides of the Westminster Palace. So this is the Westminster Palace here. It's really hard to show you because the sun is shining directly down onto this angle, but the tower over there is so pretty up the top. It's got bits of gold. I'm not sure if the camera's going to be able to show it. But yeah, it looks really pretty.
Just dropped our bags off at Corinne's friend's place.
Yep, so we're staying at Sally's for the next 4 nights. Sally's my friend that I met 10 years ago. Crazy to think it was 10 years ago, in America doing summer camps. And then I stayed with her and her mum and her family for a few weeks in Sutton, Surrey. So we're going to be staying at her house for the next 4 nights, and we just dropped our bags off at her work, which is near Westminster. Yeah.
So we're going to do a couple more last sightseeing things and then head over that way. So enjoy the vlog.
So as you can see, we've made it to Westminster Abbey. This is the famous church that all the royalty get married in.
It reminds me of Notre Dame.
Yeah, because of those 2 towers.
Yeah.
I see where you're going.
And we'll link that video up here. Just found this cool little park with all these statues of Churchill, Mandela,
And a few other significant people in the history of England.
yeah, and then in this park area there's a good view of the church and government, the palace, Big Ben. Really cool.
We are going to go back to the train station at Westminster, and we're going to catch the train to the Tower of London. So you've got the Tower of London picture there, what it would look like, and this is what remains. There's a catapult down there.
So we just heard a little chat about
The history.
the history of the palace, and actually we're standing in the moat of the castle, which is interesting, and apparently used to have poo and...
Well, this is where all their waste, human waste, was dumped, and they had a little system. See that little gate over there? That actually went out to the River Thames, but unfortunately the guy who designed this moat did it too deep. It was deeper than the actual River Thames, so the theory was meant to be that it flushed out all of their waste, and it didn't. It actually settled on the bottom instead. So this was a pretty disgusting moat.
Said it was really good because no one would cross the river or try and get across the river because of the dirty smell. Now we're going to go inside the wall. See the archer up there? So basically there was 2 wall defences here on the palace. There's the first wall, and then, I don't know, 50 years later they built another wall, which you can see there.
But I really like how they've mimicked the archer up there.
Yeah, zoom in there and see that, that's pretty cool. Crazy the history, yeah.
So many people keep getting murdered or just executed and all sorts.
It's all like, it's almost like Game of Thrones. They're trying to get on the throne and who's trying to be king and queen.
So we just finished our free guided tour. It went for 50 minutes. It was very informative, and we just came out of the Anglican chapel over there. And now I think we're going to see maybe the crown jewels.
But also is it the White
The White Tower
White Tower?
is here. The kings and queens and royalty used to live on the top level, and then the servants in the middle, and then underneath the floor is the dungeon.
And it was built in like 1018 or something.
And they had the first ever
First ever
stretchy.
down in the dungeon. Yeah, there's a dungeon down the very bottom, no lights, no nothing, and they got one of those stretchy torture chambers.
I'm going to see the crown jewels, but I have to turn the camera off. Sorry. So we just came out of seeing the crown jewels. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we saw all the crowns that the guys and
The past kings and queens.
yeah, it's really cool. We weren't allowed a video in there, so that's why we didn't show you anything. But yeah, it was really cool. Now we're going to go check out the White Tower.
Yes, because we're going to go check out the dungeon down the bottom, and then in the middle level is actually armour, all like King Henry VIII's armour. So this is where
5 or 6 people.
7 women and 1 man, something like that. Basically, this is the place that royalty was executed. They didn't execute them up on the hill, up on Tower Hill. They did it here instead. There was only one exception. There was one person who wasn't royalty who still got to be executed here. He was male, but funny enough, most people who were executed here were female. Torture was ordered for at least 81 prisoners. Of these, 48 were held in the Tower of London. In several cases, they were brought from other prisons specifically to be tortured here. Torture was never officially a part of English law. Wow, look at this torture device. It's kind of like crushing a garlic, but the human is put in between the 2 prongs and squeezed together. There it is there. Over here we have a replica of the rack. The rack was in the dungeon underneath the White Tower. It says here, the rack was the Tower of London's most infamous instrument of torture.
So that was all a story about the 2 princes that went missing, and then later they were found 105 years later in a box under a bookcase or staircase in the Tower Castle.
It's good. So it's coffee time. We're on our way back to meet Sally at her work. We haven't really had lunch. We did share a small hot chips, but then we went around that Tower of London for about 2 hours, and it's now 4:15, so we need to meet Sally back at work for 5, enjoying a coffee on the way.